I'm trying. I just got.
All right.
Mike will be on this one.
Perfect. Thank you. Yep.
All right. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us. We do want to apologize for running a little bit late, but we had a lot of items to cover in our closed session tonight. So coming out for the regular school board meeting, do we have a motion to certify closed session?
Motion to certify.
Second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
Whereas the King William County School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. And whereas section 2.2-3712D of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by this school board that such executive meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the King William County School Board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, one, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the executive meeting to which this certification applies, and two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the executive meeting were heard, discussed, or considered. Mr. Farmer,
I certify.
Mr. Wassenberg,
I certify.
Ms. Atkins,
I certify.
Ms. Frazier,
I certify.
and Ms. Catlett.
I certify. All right, thank you. Now, if everybody could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yep. All right. Next, Dr. Wagner, do we have any changes to the agenda?
Madam Chair, good evening, Madam Vice Chair, members of the board, and our guests that have joined us this evening, and those that might be listening from home, and our colleagues that are here as well. It's nice to see each of you. Welcome to the new school year, day 2. Have a little bit of an update shortly, but no, ma'am, there are no changes or additions to the agenda.
I think this is the first time. All right, well, do we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Motion to approve.
Second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. All right, next, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. All right. So we are moving right along. We have spotlight. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wanted to give the board and the community a brief update on our quest to collect some feedback so that we can engage in a redesign process, or actually a design process for a new King William County Public Schools logo. I shared some information with all of our family stakeholders in some recent communication, and we have some information posted on our website as well. And just wanted you to know that so far we have 34 responses to that feedback survey, and have some really helpful but interesting feedback about what an image, on a logo might contain, is some kind of representation, and also what some important words are for a slogan, but just wanted to share some of the leading images, if you can imagine, our affiliation between the two rivers. So having some representation of the rivers, agriculture, a sense of community is a prevailing theme. If there is some recognition of some of the native tribes, just recognizing the ones that are native to King William. So the 3 tribes that we have here. But the prevailing themes are the area, the fact that we're nestled between 2 rivers was probably one of the more prominent themes so far. Sense of community and the fact that we are an agricultural community as well. So very helpful. And we can take some of those ideas and incorporate them into, some of the next steps that we would have as a school division. But now that school's in session, we also want to make sure that we get plenty of student feedback as well. And so we'll have some of our team take the survey and the opportunity for students to provide feedback and share that through Canvas. And we'll run that certainly through the month of August, maybe a little longer for students as we get past the Labor Day weekend. But thanks for those of you that may have filled out that feedback form, and we look forward to taking that feedback and coming up with some concepts that we can all, begin to examine and hopefully make some decisions as the next few weeks unfold. So that's it. Happy to answer any questions if you have.
Thank you. Any questions? No?
Sure.
Okay. All right, so next we have citizen comments. It looks like we only have one person signed up, Miss Amanda Kirby. If you could just go to the podium, give us our name, your name, the district you are in, and then Amber will start 3 minutes on the clock, or 5 if you are speaking for a group.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Amanda Kirby, District 4, concerned parent. A lot of things for us eye-openers. There was a private meeting that was held between Wagner, our new Kane athletic director and principal, Ms. Ward, and only softball, baseball, football, and I believe soccer was included. We were to join a new, it was pretty much like now we have to form a new committee of boosters. It was kind of pressure on all of us. Nobody agreed to it. There was never a second meeting. None of the other sports were included. They formed a committee. Now we're finding out that we had $13,000 in the boosters account. This is to be divided evenly between each 13 teams. They'll get like 1,000 and change in each account. Golf is never had anything provided, shirts, balls. I mean, clubs should be provided because they can't provide their own clubs. We have all these other sports that have pants, jerseys, pads, footballs, baseballs, softballs, and we were told that we were given a loan for the golf team to buy their uniforms, which is a polo, and it's 6 players when we play. I'm not gonna say but a lot of us moms were talking today, we were trying to raise money, we're doing a $200 gold sponsorship, and why isn't the school buying the kids the uniforms they need to play the sport that's the HFL, but yet we're buying multiple uniforms for other sports. We were told by Stacy in that meeting that, or the longest, or however you want to call her, every 3 years they buy new uniforms for each sport in a rotation, and never once have they bought anything but then came back with the fact that the guys eat the bullets. I said, well, why don't we do black and gold, home and away, 6 players, 12 jersey, 12 polos, you know, whatever. So, that's just one thing. Another thing was.
You're
the-
actually at your 3 minutes. I
Oh.
apologize. I'm so
10
sorry.
minutes.
So sorry.
I have been cutting grass. It should be-
Thank you for sharing
That was 3
that.
minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
I
I appreciate your feedback.
I have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Well, we encourage you to come back to another meeting and share. So next we have the superintendent items with Dr. Wagner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And we typically don't comment on public comment, but I do want to acknowledge, I appreciate your phone call today and I enjoyed speaking with you. And like Mrs. Catlett said, please do come back and share feedback with us. It's important. We want to introduce our new student representative to the school board. It seems like a long time ago, but it happened very quickly. That April and May, we were first saying hello to Mills Hooker from King William High School, but she is here tonight for the regular meeting, and we are super excited that she's here. And wanted to also share that she will have a place on the agenda at our regular meeting. So the next meeting would be September, and we'll probably call that report from the student representative, and an opportunity for her to share feedback from friends and fellow classmates at school, and also a chance for her to answer any questions that you have. But I would also like to share and encourage members of the board that whatever the topics are that we may discuss, you're always more than welcome to get a student's perspective, and that's why Ms. Hooker is here. And so I just wanted to say welcome and give our board members a chance to say welcome, and to give you a chance to say a few words if you'd like. Now that it's official, it's a big deal.
Well, I just like to say I'm very excited to be here. I'm excited to get started this year. One thing I wanted to say is that I feel like the first 2 days of school went really well. Like there seemed to be a very positive energy in the high school. I know I'm very excited for the year to start. I know of my peers I spoke to, these first 2 days seemed very excited. I know like sports teams are back and practicing, and we're excited for games to start. We have lots of new electives this year, like sports marketing, French and ASL, and leadership. So everybody seems very excited about like the added variety to the classes. But overall, I think it's going to be a great year, and I can't wait to work with you all.
Thank you.
Thank
We are
you.
very excited that you are joining
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you.
I do have a quick question. Are there any goals that you hope to achieve by joining us on this board?
My goal would just be to provide like a different perspective, like to be able to kind of like collaborate with my peers in a new way, and like reach out and get their opinions, and be able to like share that with you guys. And also like answer you guys' questions, and like be available for you guys to reach out to get just a different, like a student's perspective on things.
Well, thank you. I'm excited. I know you guys are too. So
We are.
welcome again.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
And if I could, I'd like to acknowledge her mom for being here. Thank you for lending your daughter to us on a monthly basis for her perspective. And also Mrs. Lumpkin, thanks for facilitating and coordinating the whole process. And we hope this is the first of many successful student representatives in the years to come. It's a great position to start. It's a great opportunity for a student, and I think it's important for our community. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, I'll just
You're still
run
up.
through. Okay, so I'll just go through each of these. Thank you very much. The next item are annual appointments to school board advisory committees, and you've got a list of several of the advisory committees that are required by Code of Virginia. And thank you, Mr. Chapman, and thank you for being here as well and handling our technology. We just, maybe as an aside, I'll share that we have some of our new technology in front of you as a monitor, so that you don't have to turn around and crane your neck, that you can just glance over and see what our audience is seeing with relative ease and clarity. So Mr. Chapman, thanks for setting that up. But we have, or the board has some required advisory committees that it annually appoints either citizen members or faculty or staff members or even student members to those committees. And so we have the current membership for each of those committees listed. And in some cases, we still may need to fill representative positions, but these are always adaptable and a work in progress, and we can make changes or edits anytime. So this is the list of committee membership for special education, CTE, gifted education, and Indian education, as we knew at the time of submission, early last week. And with that, if there are no questions or comments, we invite a motion to accept these appointments for the 24-25 school year.
Motion to accept.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those say no. And the motion carries.
Okay, thank you very much. The next item is the annual updates to school crisis plans. And the Code of Virginia requires that school divisions and individual schools develop crisis plans or emergency plans to respond to emergency situations. And we have been engaged in that process for the last several months. And we have Mrs. Sabrina Moran, who is here. She is a special education coordinator, but also serves as the division safety coordinator. And she is here to share some information with you about steps that we've taken, next steps to take, and to be available to answer any questions that you may have. So Mrs. Moran, thank you very much. And we'll turn the podium over to you.
So we've had a lot going on this past summer, prepping for the new school year and getting some things in line for the school thing. But I do have some people here that I want to introduce that are going to kind of help me. Andrew Terry is our emergency manager for the county, so he has been working with us as well to prep and plan. And the board is going to come chat about some things as well.
Can you all just tip the mic down just a little bit? Thank you.
Thank you.
So the first thing is our school crisis plans. They are updated annually. Every school updates it. And we review these. The Department of Criminal Justice released a new template this year. So the teams at the schools have spent a lot of time adjusting it and making our plans work with the new template and transfer the information. The new plans are based on the standard response protocol, which is the national standard for school safety. So we have made that transition. So that has made the way that we look at things and where we respond. We've had to adjust that a little bit from previous years. But it is in line with nationally what is happening. Yes, the staff have worked really hard. Our crisis plans are confidential, but they will be available for your review prior to the September board meeting. So if you guys want to take a look at those, you're more than welcome to, but we won't be posting them or sharing them publicly. And then one of the things we've done this year is we have a meeting, a joint meeting, and we're really excited about this with our county officials. So we met with Andrew, we met with Chief Brown, we met with Sheriff Lumpkin and their colleagues, and we worked to start that collaborative relationship so that we are all responding and thinking one the same.
And if I may, Madam Chair, I'll make one point of clarification. I think that should be the September 10th work session.
Okay.
So that's going to be available before September 10th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So in the crisis plan, all the plans have a mod emergency response plans. They've got the school maps, they've got staff certifications, like who on our staff is certified in CPR, who's certified in first aid, who has AED training and all of that type of stuff. There's also the designated command chart, so that's something we've spent some time talking about as well. Who's in charge? Who's responsible for what parts of an emergency situation? So who's the person in charge? Who's gathering the students? Who's doing each part of that? Some new additions that we have this year, which we're really excited about. The high school
has gotten their Project Adam certification, which is a response to they have spent the last year working with the team from VCU to earn that certification. They had to do drills, they had to be evaluated. So they're the team at the high school that is certified in providing that level of care and service until emergency rescue can show up. We are looking to expand that out to the rest of our schools, but Mr. Lewis was wonderful in spearheading that up at the high school this past year. We've also added some athletic security that we'll talk about in a minute. And then the middle school and high school, we added the school security officers, which was huge this year.
And Mrs. Moran, if I can, I'll just, if we can go back a slide, I'll just try to color a little picture here. So this notion of the incident command, and we've talked at great length about this. There's still some training that all of our administrators will undergo, through this fall. It's free training provided by the DCJS. But an example would be, like in a standard fire drill, the school principal is sort of the incident commander. But if for some reason there were an actual fire at a school, the principal might be responsible for the initial evacuation of students, but then there might be some shared responsibility with the fire chief as they come on site and they need to work their way through the building. So there may be circumstances, and we would hope that there never would be, but there could be circumstances where there is a need to redefine the incident command based on what that situation might be. The sheriff might be the incident commander if it were a real serious incident, the kinds that we hope never happen here, or if there were a building fire or a natural disaster of some sort or a hazmat. That's where the principal wouldn't necessarily be responsible for the response to that emergency. So that's the notion of incident command, is who does what and when, and how does that transfer of authority occur.
And then the clear bag policy, I don't know, let Ms. Ward talk about this. This is something that we have put into effect for our home game. Good evening. So one of the conversations that we've had over the summer and into the start of this year is to make sure that our spectators and our students are safe on the field, in the gymnasium. It's really our utmost importance to make sure that they are safe. We also want to make sure that we are in line with the Tidewater District. So in talking to the Tidewater District and in talking with Fran and all of our safety officials, we have developed a clear bag policy for all varsity football and basketball games at home. So the policy is first and foremost that there will be added security, there will be wanding that occurs as people enter the stadium and at the age of the gymnasium to make sure that people are entering with only appropriate items. And then the clear bag policy is that spectators may carry a 4.5 by 6.5 like clutch, but if they need something more than that, then they can bring it in a clear bag that's 12 by 6 by 12. This is to just ensure that the items that are coming into the facility maintain that safe environment. And like I said, this is in line with the Tidewater District. At the most recent PHSL meeting that I was at, we spoke as a team to discuss what other districts were doing. And we wanted to make sure that we were in line with them, so that way they're safe at our facility as well as when they go to another facility as well.
The next thing I want to talk about is the meeting that we had with our county emergency officials. So a couple weeks ago, we met with, like I said, Sheriff Wilkin, Chief Brown, Andrew Terry, Dr. Wagner, and we had a bunch of staff with us. And we spent some time looking through and discussing how that works. As Dr. Wagner was saying, the incident command, and how do we transfer the command from the school to whatever emergency response we may be looking at for a certain incident. And those are things we're still looking at, because there are so many things that could happen. We realized that this is the first time that's ever happened, so we're really excited to start that meeting. We're looking to have those meetings quarterly,
so that we can all touch base and review and talk about what we need to be doing to make sure that our schools are safe. And then some of the things that we had talked about at this past meeting were offsite reunification points. So if something happened and we had to evacuate the students, where would we go? We talked about the emergency response and the incident command types for that. And we're also very excited about some joint drills that we're going to be looking at. So over this past summer, the sheriff's department did active intruder drills in our buildings. So that the entire department could get the feel for our buildings, see the buildings, and practice how they would respond. So they held some drills this summer. And in talking with Chief Brown, he is excited to come and participate in some of our fire drills this year. So the kids can see what it's like if a fire truck's got to pull up to school. So it won't be all of them, but he's excited to participate and be a part of that. I think it's gonna be great for our students, and he said it'll also get some training in for those guys too coming to schools, because it's not something that happens very often. Andrew, do you have anything to And then one thing we added this year were those school security officers, and we met last week. We had conversations about what their role was, because we have SROs and SSOs in the middle and high school. So how did their roles differ? What are the expectations? And we kind of laid that all out. Our SSOs are required to take a training through DCJS to become certified so that we can fully implement that program in our schools. And then some of the trainings that we've been doing. So this summer, every year DCJS hosts a school safety forum for 2 to 3 days. And we were fortunate that we were able to send all of our building level administration, our principals, assistant principals, and some central office staff attended as well. And it's very, very enlightening, very helpful. You get some perspectives on different things that are going on. Everybody was able to attend some workshops about school safety and things that they felt, could help them in their particular building. We had some great keynote speakers. Particularly, we had the retired principal from Columbine. He was a speaker, so that was something to hear. So that was good that everybody was able to attend that. We've also done the crisis prevention intervention, which is de-escalation techniques and disengagement and safety techniques. Ms. Waldron and myself went to train the trainers so that we are able to train our staff on how to do that. So 2 weeks ago, we trained all of our building level administration. They are all now trained in that. And we are looking to hold another training this fall for some teachers in each building so that we have a good solid group of people at every building that's able to do this if necessary. So one of the other things that rolls into school safety is threat assessments. And these are required through DCJS. And they need to be done anytime an individual makes a threat of harm to themselves or others. And in order to do that, you have to be trained. So this past winter, we trained all of our school-based administration, counselors, nurses, and went through all of that. It's a lengthy training, but it's required and we need to do that. This summer, I attended a train the trainer program so that I'm able to train all of our new staff. So in September, we are looking to train our new administration that has come in, our counselors, our new counselors, our new SSOs, our new SROs. So we'll have that training done by September that they will all be able to participate on the team as they need to. And to sum it all up, we have our safety committee meetings for the division. So we meet monthly and we have representatives from each school. And we try to include every department, nutrition, transportation, so that we can get perspectives from everybody. Our nutrition team brings a lot of concerns from the cafeteria that, instructionally or from the front office, you may not think about. Transportation has another set of safety issues that need to be considered. So we try to bring everyone together so that we can talk about and address everything and make sure that we are meeting the needs to keep all of our staff and students safe. And our goal this year is to discuss all those safety concerns and really review and revise the crisis plan
especially with this new template that came out this year. There's a lot we wanna look at and just make sure we're keeping up and doing everything we can to keep everyone safe. That's all I have.
Thank you.
I have a question, the third bag policy, I mean, I already had bought mine, but you said it was just varsity games? It's varsity JV, you don't have to have
We're doing a one team for all varsity home football and basketball games.
what about softball, baseball, like all the other sports?
So once we get through the varsity football, we're gonna evaluate to see where we stand and make sure we're in connection with everyone.
Just, I went ahead and as soon as I saw that, and then ordered mine, 12-4, and. Cause I know volleyball, I mean. They're playing right now, I'm not there.
We were very excited about this plan. I know that Dr. Wagner had shared bits and pieces with us. So I'm very, very excited with all the new developments that we have.
And I can add, Madam Chair, that this is an initiative that we're beginning in terms of wanding. There is going to be an additional cost to that because we're bringing in some new security. So at this time, we're not able to do every sport sort of every day, but we'll look at expanding into JV in some of the fall sports if that's a possibility. One of the things that we'll have to talk about as a board is the ability to sustain some of the new security features over time, but we at least wanted to try it this fall to see if we can, what the logistics are and the impact that it has on the athletic environment, in the stadium and in the gym. So we'll have a lot more updates as we move on, but the extent to which we are able to expand some of these security measures, we'll do that as our resources permit.
Just know what I was saying is JV when they play before.
Right.
So you have to send everybody out and bring it back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll look to the schedule to make sure that we can handle the logistics. Yeah.
That one sport.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of confused,
Sure.
like, I mean, people go in for a JV game and don't have a clear bag, and then what are you gonna go in there and tell them they gotta leave now because it's the varsity game, and they don't have a clear bag? Still, our practice teams are a 14 document that we are constantly evaluating and updating. We'll get it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moran, and Mr. Terry, thank you for being here as well, and thanks for your partnership on our safety discussions. It's been very helpful. The last item, Madam Chair, under superintendent's items is just a sort of a enrollment, it's specifically an enrollment update and sort of a day 2 update for the new school year. And as Ms. Hooker shared, today we did finish day 2, thankfully. We've managed to get all of our kids home safely. We've had some delays here and there with transportation and with kids moving in and out of buildings. And, there are still some things to smooth over with all of our operations, transportation and how lunch lines work and how class changes work. And so, so our school teams will continue to work through that. I do want to extend our appreciation to all of our departments, transportation, nutrition, maintenance, operations, technology, all of the support that it takes to get schools open and up and running, especially with the short work week, teachers and staff that participated in their trainings over the last week or so. Many thanks for a successful day 1 and day 2. I shared some information with you the other day about our enrollment on day 1, which was 2,005 students. Today, we are looking at 2,029. And so what we do is we count the number of students that show up each day, and we would expect that number to gradually increase. Don't know how much more it's going to increase. Just wanted to remind our board and the community that we built a budget based on 2,020 students. So any number over 2,020 is going to be in the positive direction. But today, between today and yesterday, we've had 2,029 students report to school. And we hope that that number continues to increase because there may be a number of reasons why kids haven't been able to come to school over the last 2 days, either travel or illness or something like that. But we'll, our schools will make contact with those families of the ones that we're expecting to return. And we hope that number continues to grow. So 2,029 as of today. And some of these numbers may fluctuate over the next 10 days or so, but one of our first official numbers will be a 10-day count. So we'll do that on the 10th day of instruction. And then our most important number for the fall is the September 30th enrollment number. And so we'll continue to track this and have some updates for you again, September 10th, once again in September 17th. And then we'll have our September 30th number for you at the October meeting. So
Thank you.
thank you. And thanks again to everybody for a very successful start. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So next we have nutritional updates. Thank you, Ms. Harris.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I have some numbers for you that are not on, the form that I gave you. I just thought it was really important to update you on the free and reduced applications for this year. We did something new at open house. I actually learned how to create a QR code that took the parents directly to the online free and reduced application. I checked the report on Friday after open house and I had over 80 applications in one night. So that was really, really good. That's the first time we've had that many come in one night. Overall, we've had 139 free and reduced applications come in. Including the direct certification students, we have a total of 899 students that have qualified for free and reduced meals, which is way higher than last year. We run the low 800s, the 2830 last year. So we're already ahead of where we were last year for free and reduced applications. Our negative meal balance has come down since I created this report on August the 12th. We're now at $15,814.37. So we're almost $1,000 down from where we were when I printed the report on August the 12th. So I'm hoping that that number will come down significantly as the year goes on. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Well done.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so next, we do not need another closed session. So we will move on to the personnel report and supplemental report. Do we have a motion to approve the supplemental report, personnel report as presented?
Motion to approve the personnel and supplemental personnel report as presented. Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. And the motion carries. All right, next we have matters of the board. Does anybody have anything that they would like to share? No?
I'm grateful that we had a wonderful first 2 days of school. Everybody that I talked to was excited for yesterday and ready for yesterday. And I don't think that excitement wore off any today. I'm looking forward to a wonderful year and all of our students just coming in with bright smiley faces and getting everything that we have to offer.
And again, we would all like to, well, I'll speak on behalf of the board because I'm sure they feel the same way, but we are very grateful for the conditions that our schools and buses were in when these students were returning. Open house at every single school was very successful. Everybody was joyful and excited. I personally went to 3 different schools and I was in and out in like an hour. And that is a drastic change from previous years. So the planning and the process that you all went through and having everything ready was like mind blowing. So again, thank you all for your hard work and your dedication. And we're very excited about this school year. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, still me. Upcoming events. So August 30th is Labor Day holiday. So all schools and offices will be closed. September 10th, we do have a work session here at Hamilton Homes. September 17th will also be our regular scheduled school board meeting. It will be here, I think, are we starting at 6:30 for closed session?
On the 17th,
Yeah,
you can start whenever you'd like.
okay,
Probably 6:30
okay.
if you want to do it on the 17th.
And then open session will be at 7.
At 7.
So again, parents, staff, teachers, students, please feel welcome to come and join us. We would love to have a bigger presence at this meeting because we really enjoy hearing what everybody has to say and the feedback so that we know what we can improve. And I'm sure everybody gets tired of looking at the same face.
I love some things. I can keep going. I should find out the spot.
But that is all that I currently have for the public announcements. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to share? No? All right. Well, if we have nothing else,
Do we have sports this weekend?
do we have what?
Sports this weekend?
Practice has started this week. I don't think there are any games this weekend.
Is it called scrimmages?
Yeah, we got
scrimmages.
Volleyball and football scrimmage. Everything we found was Iowa District website if you're looking for that information. But our first home game is the 28th.
Thank you.
Do we know where our lumber is for that school?
We can get with you after and talk
Okay.
about it if you'd like. All right. So, if there is nothing else, do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no,
No.
and the meeting is adjourned.
You said